Oh, so greetings everybody again. This is Light on the 2 playing Destiny, and I'm continuing my How to Beat Them series, which going to mean that all the time I'm just showing you one enemy at a time separately from each other, and this time this one is going to be the Vandal. Let's just clear the place from other drag, which is going to be there in some way maybe, but of course there is one more drag, and there is the Vandal, which I would want to show you how it works, of course. And after them, oh no, one more drag, I saw it. Okay, so the Vandal is just here. At the first part I just told you that there is a projectile from the drags which are really fast and you are just not really able to dodge it, and that's why I said it's a harder enemy than the Vandal. Vandal is a stronger enemy than the drag, but because of that it has homing bullets in that way that they are just homing onto you, targeting you all the time, and it's just going to hit you. Even for that, if you are just moving away, of course you are able to dodge them in the with the right timing, how you can see. So for that I told you that it's not that hard like the drag, because you are all the time able to dodge its bullets. Maybe even for that if there are more Vandals around, but of course you will need to move all the time for the right direction, because it can happen that these bullets are just going to hit you, of course, but then again at least it's slower than the drag's projectiles. So for that I always take them out later if this enemy is just having this weapon, because of course it can happen that the Vandal has a sniper rifle, which is another kind of enemy in some way. So I'm just staying with that homing projectiles with these kind of Vandals. So the thing is the same with the most enemies. It has its range, but if you are just going to reach, then it's just going to rush on you, of course, and he will just be on to use its melee attack to shoot you or hit you. Look at this. And of course the Vandal is a agile enemy in that way that he's just able to reach you if you are just on to move away just a bit from its melee attack, because it's fast enough to get you. Even for that, if you are jumping, you need to shot him in the head, I guess, because in that way he's just going to get killed. Of course, I don't know that guy. He just came in and he just made my training away. But of course what I wanted to show you is that you can dodge Vandal's projectiles, and in that way you are just able to keep your shield all the time in a good shape, I guess, because of course the Vandal's projectiles are just dodgeable, you see. Let's just try to get the drags out from the fight, and and then after I'm able to show you that the Vandals are just there, and of course you are just able to dodge its bullets, its projectiles, if you are just doing it right. Of course I'm not able to do it 100%, it doesn't really matter, I think, but it can save you, because during these kind of shootings it can happen that your shield is just going to recharge because you are just not going to get hit. So even for that there are 3 Vandals here. There is a way how you can see that I'm not going to get hit, and if I'm going to get hit once, then I'm just really able to make my shield recharge itself, of course, because they are just not able to hit me that hard. Of course you just should not let them to hit you with their projectiles, because it hits hard enough to get your shield down. Look at this. If I'm just going to let it, it's just going to take it down really fast and nice, I guess. So it can happen that I will need to gather back my shield and I will be able to, but the guys just came back and he was just on to kill them all again. Of course I do understand him, because he's just going to get experience points for killing it. But because of that he just killed these guys. I'm not able to show you, but I would have been, because I saw it that the Vandals projectiles are just able to turn in on corners. It just really turns onto you, and in that way you are just, even for that you are just in cover. It can happen that the projectile just coming in. Look at this, I'm just trying to get to, of course it's not all the time happening, but it has a possibility. Yeah, did you see? Yeah, it can happen that you are just not seeing it. It's just coming, and then it just really came in, and then it's just going to hit you. I want to show, yeah, that one was that one, which just, I didn't even see the enemy and I didn't even see the projectile, but it just turned in the corner. So for that it's a hard enemy, of course, in its own way, but at least they are just not really throwing grenades. They are just shooting you all the time with these kind of weapons. If they just have it, and in that way it can happen, of course, that you are just playing with them all day. They're not the hardest enemies, of course. They can be killed. These dodgings are just can come in handy, I guess, when you are just have a lot of enemies on you. And of course I do think that it might worth training it. So it can happen that the Vandal is just going to shoot you, and how it looks to me, even for that I'm close, is just not approaching me with its melee attack. But I want to show you that even for that I'm strong enough and he's just on level 2. With a single melee attack I wasn't able to kill it, at least with the hunter class. Maybe other classes just have harder hitting melee attack, but with the hunter I wasn't able to kill it with one hit. So for that it can happen that you are going to get hit by it if you are just hitting it with a melee, because it's going to counter attack back if you are just not able to kick it back by the melee button. But of course if you're just killing it, it's no threat anymore. Oh yeah, I'm doing this throwing knife thing because I'm just practicing with it, because if I'm going to hit it precise kill with my knife, what means that I'm just hitting the enemy on its head, then I'm going to get instantly back my knife. So for that it can happen that I'm just killing everybody with a knife in just a matter of a little time. Look at this, I will be on to, but of course if they are just moving, then it's just not that easy to kill them. Okay, one, I just made it right, and then the second, and then let's just try to do it. Was away, but it just made right in some way, so let's just try not to do it. Okay, 4, and let's just do it with the drag as well, but he just was on to. It's a faster enemy than the Vandal in some way, but it can happen, of course, that the Vandals are just going to dodge your knife, how the drag did. But of course that's why you have the weapon. But then again, I'm just not on to do it. I was just on to show you a little bit of throwing knife practice, of course, during my training and during while I'm just telling what kind of and what's happening with the enemies if you are just doing such things. So this was the Vandals training video, and of course I thank you that you watched it. The next time is going to be the Shank, I guess.